Good afternoon. Thank you for stopping by Healing Conversations with Z. I'm Zuri Bibi, and I'm talking today. I am gonna come back and do another message, but earlier in my twin flame journey, and especially earlier on this channel, I began searching the tree of life. It was something I already knew, but I needed clarity on some things. And so I found a book, and I remember the book because as a child, I remember the book. And it had a lot of stuff in it that didn't seem real, but it is real. It seemed like a fairy tale. And I knew it wasn't a fairy tale because I had experienced things, but most people who hear was being spoken of, they didn't. They just thought it was rubbish. The book is called, I'm now reading all the notes. And if you really want to know what I talked about, you could go back into my earlier videos when I put out this to read. But it's called The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life. And it's by, this man's name is Drunvalo Melchizedek. I think I don't want to butcher it no more. It's an excellent book, and it's a book that will explain who you are. And I'm saying that because, if you're part of the Twin Flame community, even if you're not part of the Twin Flame community via Sophia Charles, even if you're just a Twin Flame, period, do you know who you are? Everybody asks you that if you go to get do inner work. They're always asking you, do you know who you are? Most of us don't, and this book explains why. I'll read a little. Let me see if I can find that real quick, because let's see. It talks about how we were constructed, how our bodies were made, or how we're supposed to breathe, or how we used to breathe. An important change was in how we breathe. Prana, a Hindu word for the life force energy of this universe. Prana is more important than our survival, than our water, food, or any substance, and the manner in which we take this energy into our bodies is more important. Let me see. And at Atlantean times and earlier, the way we breathed prana was directly related to the electromagnetic energy field that surrounds our bodies. Remarkable. All the energy forms in our fields are geometric. The ones, oh no, I'm not going to talk about that. Like I said, you can look at my channel for me to go over the shapes, because it talks about the platonic solids, which that's what that was getting into. We walk around with shapes around us, energy fields. We have those fields around us all the time. Most of us don't know it. Nope, I'm not reading that. Talks about the pineal gland, our pineal gland, and that's right in here. And prana energy was used to flow through this gland to give us the information that we need. I'm not going to read into that. Inside the pineal gland are all, where is it at? All sacred geometries, all the platonic Everything is here. If you notice, when you look at certain things and you see all those shapes, the squares, triangles, octagon, dodecahedrons, and all that, it's all in here. And this is where our reality is from. This right here. If they can screw this up, you don't see reality the way that it is. And how is it really? It's a mirage. But anyway, let me get to what I'm supposed to be reading. Here we go. Because we lost our memories during the fall, because when we come, however we were when we first came, we had it all. But then something came and they took the memories away. But before we lost our memories during the fall, and without our memories, we start to breathe differently. Because of what was done to us, we don't breathe the way that we're supposed to. Through the pineal gland, and it usually circulates up and down our body. What that does, the result of this polarity is polarity consciousness. Because the way that we breathe and everything, normally it would be unity consciousness, but we are polarity conscious. Now, it has us thinking we're outside. So they have us thinking outside of ourselves instead of thinking within yourselves. For me, I'm beginning to, not that I wasn't before, but I'm paying more attention to it. The messages that I get. You know, when you hear a voice talking to you, telling you to do stuff, that's you. That's your inner voice. That's your guidance telling you what to do for you. Now, as a child, when the little kids say, oh, it's my imagination, they're talking to themselves. And it's not a bad thing. But most people say, oh, he's just playing. That's just not real. And then the kids lose it because they don't, they think they're doing something wrong. And because of that, then that's what makes people look outside of themselves instead of looking within. That's and that comes from childhood. Let me see. I'm trying to find. Oh, wrong way. 13,000 years ago, we were aware of something about ourselves that we have forgotten. And it's probably more than 13,000 years now. The geometric energy fields around our bodies can be turned on in a particular way, which is connected to our breath. I want to say something about that. And I'm a little nervous about it, but I'm saying it anyway. What was going on out there on the news and the TV and stuff, the entities, they know this. They know this. So okay, I'm getting the piercing sound, so I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking about this. But we need to be careful about what we take in our bodies. Let me say it that way. Because like I said, the energy field could be turned on and it could be turned off. Okay, let me keep going. I won't talk no more about that. Nope, can't talk about that. Trying to stay out of trouble. I was trying to stay out of trouble with the universe and with YouTube. They were being shut me off. But the Merkaba is a controller, controller rotating field of life that affects spirit and body simultaneously. That's your protective shield. You know how you see the little cartoons and you see them with the little bubbles on them and they walking? It's like that. But it's more than that. They just showing one aspect of it. You got a bubble and you got this other field. And if I didn't bring those cards, do I have that deck? I do have that deck, but I'm not going to search for it. There's an actual shape that is around us, like right now. It's around me right now. It's around you and everybody else. But most of us don't know it. And what it does, it can create reality as well as move through realities. And our higher self, we literally exist in other worlds besides this one. This is part of knowing the laws of the planet. I'm not trying to get into the laws of the planet. You have to go to Annalise for that. But I'll read what I have, but I won't get in depth to it with it, because I think this is how I intuitively understand the laws of the planet via this. There are so many dimensions and worlds that it supersedes human capacity to conceive of it. The space and wavelengths and eons between these levels are identical to the relations within musical octaves and other aspects of life. And this is what I wanted to talk about, because I receive my messages through the musical aspect of the wavelengths. There's more than one type of wavelength, and I'll get to that in a minute. Our third dimensional consciousness has been probably severed from our higher aspects, so we're only aware of what's going on here on Earth. This is not normal for beings in a natural, unfallen state. The norm is that beings first became aware of several levels at once, like chords in music, until finally, as they grow, they become aware of everything and everything everywhere at once. We probably exist on 5 or more levels, though there is a break between these dimensions and others. When you connect with your higher self, you mend the break, after which you start becoming aware of the higher levels, and the higher levels start paying attention to you. They call them space people, aliens and things like that. I call them relatives because they family. They will begin to communicate to you once you repair yourself, once you repair your inner child. I'm not sure if Sophia really, I can't speak for her. Let me make that clear. But I know on some intuitive level of my understanding is that once you repair yourself, your inner child, you will become aware, oh wow, I must be saying the right stuff, because that sound just disappeared. It went to fade in. And once you repair your inner child, you will be able to hear from the other dimensions. You'll be able to respond, interact, receive guidance from the other realms. Let me go back. Yeah, you'll be able to connect to them, and they'll be able to connect with you. I'm beginning to experience some of this stuff. And this connection to the higher self is probably the most important thing that can happen in your life. It's more important than the information that is in this book. Because once you connect with them, you won't need nothing else. You don't need it. You don't need nothing, because you have it. You'll have everything. You have everything that you need. Snap, fast in a second. You have it instantaneously. That's what I'm understanding. Connecting with the higher self is more. I just said that. Connecting with the higher self is more important than learning how to activate your Merkaba, your protective shield. Because once you connect with your team, your family, you good. You don't have to worry about the Merkaba, because we're all one. They'll just open up their field and you just slide on in and the field will close back up. That's how I perceive it. I don't know how anyone else may perceive it, but it's like it's a big covering, and we're on the outside of it right now. People that who are not awake or who don't know who they are. But the minute you begin to understand who you are and what your abilities or your job is, your job here in Gaia on Earth, your family, I call them family. They'll come, you'll begin to communicate with them, and then they will accept you in. You know, it's like a little, like I said, this is how I see it. It's like a portal. And I got this deck here. This is why I like space decks. Let me find it. I wasn't expecting to do this. Here it is. But this like this. This is like the hangman, but it's like a portal. There, you know, a door opens up, you go within it, and they close it back up behind you, and you good. You know, but it's a clear one. That's how my mind works. I'm visual like that. Let me go back. It said it's more important than learning how to activate the Merkaba, because you connect to your higher self. You will get clear information on how to proceed step by step through any reality and how to lead yourself back home into the full consciousness of God. I don't know how that's so important. And I think with what's going on out there, they know this and they're trying to block this. When you connect with your higher self, the rest will happen automatically. You don't have to ask who, what, when, where, and why. Once you get connected to your higher self, your inner guidance. I mean, you still have to live your life. You still have to live. But everything you do will have greater powers and wisdom within your actions. Once you understand who you are, the stuff that you do will be very powerful, and it will have lasting effects, lasting power to others. And then it talks about the right brain and the left brain. I'm not talking about that now because I talked about this before on my channel. I don't remember what. You'd have to go back to like August or something like that. That's how far back. There is one and only one image that created all that exists, and that image is the same image that has formed the electromagnetic field around your body. Don't mistake that. The same geometries that are in your field can be found around everything, the planets, the galaxies, atoms, and everything else. That's why it's the seed of life. Everything starts from that seed, and the source created it that way. Let's see. I'm talking way longer than I wanted to. The flower of life is a pure consciousness that resides deep in the womb of the earth, and to which humanity's level of consciousness is completely dependent for its very existence. I don't think, you know. Let's see what else. I'm not saying anything here. I'm way past what I wanted to say. The flower of life contains every single mathematical formula, every law of physics, every harmony in music, every biological life form, right down to your specific body. It contains every atom, dimensional level, absolutely everything. Everything that's within waveform universe. It's found all over the world, so it's not like somebody can claim it. Oh, we got it over in Africa. Oh, we got it over in Egypt. Oh, we got it over in Italy. Oh, we got it. No, this is everywhere. Everywhere. And I think this is why I have switched over. I've been talking about fruits and trees and things because um, the flower of life, it's called a flower not because it looks like a flower, but because it represents the cycle of a fruit tree that makes a little flower, which goes through metamorphosis and turns into fruit and cherry, apple, etc. The fruit contains within it the seed, which falls to the ground, then grows into another tree, cycle of tree to flower to fruit to seed and back to tree again. And actually, I don't know. I'm doing a love reading, and if you after I finish this, but this is what I'm talking about right there. That is the seed of life. Let me see. So let me get to what I really wanted to say. Okay. And talking about um, the dimensions and the harmonics. I'm saying this because I'm musically inclined. That's how I process, that's how I channel. I hear things, I say what I need to say, and if the music, depending on what's being played, that's how I channel the messages. Yes, you can be manipulated through it, but that's not what I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about untainted dimensions and harmonics and waveform universe, dimensional levels. And they have more to do with music and harmonics than anything else. So let me say that again. Dimensions and harmonics. And waveform universe, dimensional levels have more to do with music and harmonics. I channel. Oh wow, I'm taking the nails off. I had to cut them down and get rid of this crap. Sine waves is cosine, and it corresponds to light. It's everything in this everything in this reality is based on sine waves, waveforms, patterns, sound, I can't read that. These are my old notes. But waveform, when you see things go like that. Let me put it this way: your heartbeat. That's a waveform when you see it on the thing. Boom, boom. It goes up and down, up and down. Sine waves. That's waveform. Your body, planets, absolutely everything. All this responds off of this waveform, harmonics and waveform universe. But if you choose this particular way, if you choose to look at the world via harmonics and music, which is an aspect of sound, there's more information that I will be talking about for this soon. We were created, how I feel about the Bible and all that is a little, It's not that I don't believe it, but it's because now that I'm more aware of who I am, I can actually look at the I don't, how do I say this? Um, when I hear scripture, I can tell the truthfulness of it. I can look at it and say, oh, now I know what it means now that I'm understanding. So when they say, when it says, you are beautifully and wonderfully made, yes, we are. The Creator, I say He, the source, divine, however, God, whoever, they're all the same. However we were created, they knew what they were doing with us. And I have, man, I'm just getting pulled all out of place here. Oh, I don't have it out. Darn it. There's in my messages from the spirit guides, it says understand your body. This is why you need to understand your body, because of how you were created. Were you created to process things via sound, visualization, touch, sight, inner knowing? You don't know. And part of the reason why you don't know is because the food that we're eating and taking in is hardening this pineal gland. They know that too. If they harden this up, you can't get to that. You can't get to that inner knowing. They know this. I wasn't supposed to make this video. I was supposed to be doing something else. So I'm gonna stop right now, so I can get to what I was supposed to do. And this is part of my own personal I don't know how what's gonna happen with that. But like I said, I know that I'm different. I know that I'm musically inclined. I know that whatever my gift is, it has something to do with music. I'm not going to deny. I can't deny it. Every time I try to deny it, I get pulled back to it. Every time. And I can do it for free. As a kid, well, I like old school music. I like that. I know that it's not manipulated. Like I said, I do know music does have a form of manipulation in it, but that's because that's only if you don't know it. If you don't know you're being manipulated. Most of us, the pineal gland is hard, so they don't even get the messages that the music is putting out. They don't even understand how they're being pulled into drama and all that kind of stuff. I understand that because as a child, something about it, I've been able to decipher the messages. Even when it was something bad. Cleanup woman. You know what that's about. Things like that. I understood that. It's not always a bad message either. If you look at it, like I said, it's negative and positive polarities and perceptions on everything. Like these cards, it's the same thing with the music. How are you looking at it? Are you just making a judgment call on it based on your perception? We got to look at the truth, not my truth or your truth. The truth. Everybody has value. Okay, where did that come from? Let me get out of here. I will talk to you all later. Peace. Thanks for stopping by.